what to look for in Kriya Hatha Yoga courses, in the 80 Siddha Asana Mastery Practice. A little bit about me. So we have about 60 minutes. These 60 minutes can run really fast as we get carried away. So I have an outline over here, so I will be very punctuated today. So everyone, welcome to join me, and I guess I'll start. A little bit about me. I'm 38 years old and have been practicing Kriya Hatha Yoga starting from 2017. I got initiated with a teaching around 2013 to Kriya Yoga practices. For that, I'm going to speak about a little bit later. Now, I was having a bit of moment there how to approach this very, very old teaching and how to entail a bit of history, my own experience, and what to look for in the course. So I need to start from somewhere, and a little bit me, how I found this Kriya Hatha Yoga practice. I started searching for something that is, I remembered already that there is something more than only the physical plane, and this is what we see in our eyes. But I couldn't find any justification or any materialistic, like a confirmation for that. So I went to study alternative medicine and alternative sciences and bought books and read them on my own. But since I didn't get any confirmation of those phenomena in my surroundings and from my close ones, I just dropped it. So time went by and I needed to go to study something in the university. I wasn't really interested in any of the modern Western university topics because I was still very interested of getting to know the science of what we consist of and how we function. And the closest was psychology. So I went to study psychology to become a psychotherapist. And so it wasn't like I was burning and dying to graduate. It was just like the closest degree that I could get into the real thing that I was yearning for. But it took me so long. It took me 6 years to graduate my bachelor's because my heart wasn't fully in it. I just made a decision in my mind to go and graduate this knowledge. But when I graduated, finally, things didn't unveil to me before I graduated. Once I graduated, I found, although I was searching, I was all the time throughout my university studies, I was searching for, this kind of holistic way of explaining this human. What do we consist of? How do we function? How do we cure ourselves? How do we heal ourselves? I sort of had this innate knowledge that it's out there somewhere. The system is out there. I guess I wasn't ready. Well, when I graduated, I finally found something of a similar. And there were two things. It was a Kundalini yoga teacher training. And then it was the journey therapy, which is kind of guided yogic meditation of healing the psychophysiological, physical body illnesses. So I went to study those both. I went to study those. I practiced them both simultaneously, parallelly. I opened up my own yoga studio. I did all the practices, and life sort of started opening up to me and everything went blooming. But then at the time I was separated. I was raising my son on my own with the help of my ex-husband, of course, and family, but still my son was really young at that time, and I had my own yoga studio. I had my own therapy practice, and I was teaching yoga and studying at the same time. It became too much. Then I opened up one detox program to share my knowledge in nutrition, conscious nutrition, and it began to be too much. And so I experienced a very severe burned out, how do you say it in English? So I went to India to recuperate. It was my first time when I went to India. And then I started going to India, searching for all those Eastern modalities of philosophy and knowledges. And it was the really first time when I came across with real yogic practices. And I went and searched for all kinds of modalities and systems that were out there. One of my first, like a teacher of Ascended Masters, was Osho teachings. Then I went on to study Krishnamacharya Yoga Therapy. I got acquainted with Iyengar and simple Hatha Yoga. And yeah, that was it. And Yin Yoga. So I got understanding of all the modalities and systems that were out there available for me. When I came back to Estonia, one of my friends invited me to go to a lecture to hear about one yogi. One man who was teaching about yogic science. And this man was called Ingvar Vilido. He also has a spiritual name, Ishwarananda. So I met him and I started going to his lectures, and he's an acharya of Kriya Yoga. So of course that was logical. I got initiated into Kriya Yoga, first, second, and third initiation, and started practicing. So now it's the part of where I'm here already. That was year 2014. All wasn't so rosy because, you know, you get a teaching with your mentality at first. And there you come some ups and downs on your path where you sort of practicing and then you forget about it. And then the desire comes and you want to go and achieve something and do something better and achieve something quicker. And so I was still shopping around of all the experiences and techniques and meditation and different modalities until I really got and understood the whole system, how it's being built, where do I want to go, what is my intention in this realm of physical plane on earth. So back to Kriya Yoga and how it is attached to Kriya Hatha Yoga. So Kriya Hatha Yoga is an integral part of 144 techniques of Kriya Yoga. So now we're going to, I'm going to explain about Kriya Yoga, who doesn't know yet. Kriya Yoga, maybe you're familiar of Paramhansa Yogananda teachings. So they come from the same lineage or branch. For me, where I come about, where the teaching comes from, what I practice comes from Marshall Govindan, who was a disciple of Yogi Ramaya. And this teaching came about around 160 years ago as a set of techniques to a yogi who meditated. And this ascended master, Babaji, gave him the knowledge and techniques to reach self-realization. So this knowledge has been passed on verbally. And by now, there are acharyas who are passing it along with a verbal initiation. So why is Kriya Hatha Yoga so important? And why is Kriya Hatha Yoga so special, and how it is different from other yogic techniques? In my perspective, I didn't know the difference at first, because Hatha Yoga is Hatha Yoga, postures are postures. You know, every yoga club you go or yoga class you go, basically, of course, modalities are different and characteristics are different, but postures are postures. But now it's the important part where I will and should I need to explain about Kriya, because it's not Hatha Yoga, it's Kriya Hatha Yoga. And this Kriya word makes a huge difference between the Kriya practices of regular yoga clubs or some clubs where you go to a yoga class. So what does Kriya mean? Kriya mean action with awareness. So it's kind of, this Kriya means you become aware of yourself and you start to act coming from the perspective relating to the world and phenomena and activities from a perspective of the self. So everything in the world that we do, that happens to us, usually it's like automated processes, that we do something because an emotion comes and then we act and react. A thought comes and then we act and react. A physical pain comes and then we react. So we're always dependent of those outside influences, and they are sort of unconsciously, they're leading our life because we are unconscious of them. So they affect us 24/7. So Kriya Hatha Yoga is like a tool where we set an intention to light a light bulb in seeing what is that our life consists of. What are the phenomena that happen in there? So we're kind of turning out the light and bringing those phenomena and things that happen to us out from the dark of the unconsciousness. So if they become conscious, we bring them into our consciousness because we become seer of those. Then we can be in charge and decide how and what we're gonna and what we're gonna do about them. So that is the difference, doing things unconsciously and consciously. So Kriya Hatha Yoga, really what it teaches you is to practice those inner innate tools so that you remember who you are. You start using your innate abilities and functions and tools, like deliberately, intentionally. Like, for example, if we develop sorts of like a witness, if we do the postures, for example, in the Kriya Yoga, we do the postures. So we are going to start using our inner vital tools that we are needing in order to lead our life, overall life, not only in the yoga mat. So we are sort of rehearsing how we are going to start using those tools in postures so we can use them in everyday life and master it there. So we're becoming, with an intention, we're becoming conscious of the self. Then we become witnessing and seeing all the things during yoga postures. Because every yoga posture, there are 18 postures we're gonna practice. we get to know so much about ourselves. We get to see all the hidden treasures that we have in ourselves that we like or don't like. We get to see them because we are becoming and developing sense of witness of seeing those different things so we can do something about them. Now, Hatha Yoga, Kriya Hatha Yoga, so we are witnessing, we are aware, so we are discovering different things in ourselves so that with a posture they can come out, and with a breath we can resolve them, or withholding of the posture in a certain way. So the postures are actually designed so that in the physical body we align our energies and become relaxed. In mental body, the tensed ideas, thought processes, then they become relaxed too. And emotional plane also can become relaxed, so the energies can become aligned. So the yogis and silent yogis used exactly those 18 postures, the siddhas, the enlightened masters, used those 18 postures to enhance and bring the physical body in a state and build up the stamina and relax so that the higher techniques can be incorporated, like we say meditation. In Kriya Yoga, there is known a pranayama, which is breath work, and dhyana, which is a mind exercise. So if the physical body doesn't have any tension and the energy flows freely, so relaxation can take place. So Kriya Hatha Yoga really teaches you those inner tools so you can incorporate them in yoga posture or everyday life. It develops in you this physical body relaxation. And relaxation, it means that you have stiffnesses, you have uncomfortability in your physical body. So you're more flexible and your physical body won't interfere your other actions, what you're gonna want to do when you develop yourself in spiritual realms, in spiritual worlds, or your personal techniques. So Kriya Hatha Yoga can be approached in different way. And first, you will develop a more flexed, a more relaxed, healed physical body. You will feel good in your physical body, so you don't feel it, so it doesn't draw attention. And you will know how to become aware and develop this state of witnessing this that is outside of you, that is happening inside of you. Witnessing what is going on at the same time when you become in contact with the physical world, how your physical body reacts, how your emotions pop up, what is the thought process. So you become aware and are able to discern those processes and phenomena. You can do something about them or just stay as a witness. So life becomes easier, more linear, yes, more balanced. And Kriya Hatha Yoga, every posture's main, like a goal, is samadhi, is dissolving of the self, to the self, the union, the connection of this ever present bliss state. And in Hatha Yoga, Kriya Hatha Yoga, every 18 posture can bring you to the state. There are certain kind of steps that need to be mastered, but it's all very achievable and very simple. So Kriya Hatha Yoga can serve you in many ways. It can prepare you for more complex techniques of evolvement. It will bring permanent, like a solution or permanent states. So it can build up. It's like Kriya Hatha Yoga. It builds you those permanent, like tools. It builds you up and it teaches you those inner tools that are like building the way for you to achieve this permanent self-realization. Or whatever way you go, if you are, for example, wanting to be peaceful. So these are the inner tools that need to be mastered before you're going to be able to achieve it. Because if you're uncomfortable in your physical body, your awareness will be drawn to those phenomena. If you have a very, very loud emotional body, your awareness will be drawn there. If you have a very, very, very strong active mentality, your awareness is going to be drawn there. And if your awareness has been untamed, it's gonna jump all over where the newness is. So, and if you don't know how to be a witness, then and master the awareness, it's really no chance for you of achieving other higher permanent states of relaxation, calmness, bliss, consciousness, union. So Kriya Hatha Yoga is designed in a way so that gradually you're going to be introduced to tools, you will learn to master them, and what follows is the ultimate reaching the self and dissolving and experiencing the bliss body experience, the God union, whatever you like to call it. So that is Kriya Hatha Yoga in a nutshell. And Kriya Hatha Yoga can be practiced by everyone because we have variations to every posture. It's not going to be like in the ballerinas that you see on Instagram. I'm not super flexible. So we have alternative exercises or postures for deliberately with those who have certain kind of chronic problems, like maybe something with knees or something with neck or hip, or and it is the postures are precisely prescribed for people who have some kind of chronic ailments or are suffering because of some kind of physical, emotional, or mental conditions. So frictions, I would say, that needs harmonizing. So these I would call that ought to be, the reasons to take on and start to practice Kriya Hatha Yoga. I will be guiding you through and teaching you all the necessary tools that you need to know in order to experience the ultimate relaxation and calmness throughout the postures. The 18 postures have different kind of complexities and they're going to build up themselves. So we're going to start from the simple ones and you get to choose your own favorite ones that you want to incorporate in your everyday actions and sadhanas. So Kriya Hatha Yoga postures can be done in a morning exercise to get your energies flowing and going, to get you really shiny and focused and and really like connected with the consciousness, with the true you. So it can be incorporated as a really deep path of exploration as well, and discovering and healing and releasing. So we can approach, once we get those like foundational tools of how to incorporate those postures, you can choose them and start choosing them however you like. And Kriya Hatha Yoga postures are working really well as a preparatory exercises, are postures, practices for dhyana and pranayama that are in Kriya Yoga or any other practices. So this is what Kriya Hatha Yoga is about in a nutshell. So it's really exploring and developing the awareness of the ground, and really like a groundwork of what you consist of, developing your awareness in that sense. And yeah, that's about it. That is the intro. So for further questions, if anyone wants to ask something, has some hesitations, then I would say that for every yoga practice has their own. If you have a calling, then you are in a right place. If you recognize yourself and you have an interest, then I invite you to come to this exciting exploration of the inner and the lining of the inner. So if this is something that you recognize yourself in, feel warm welcome to you. Yeah, thank you. That's it for my part right now. So if you have any questions, I'm all ears, and really, really happy to answer, because it's a so wide topic, and it's a great process of really being able to grasp it and take it in this very like a compressed set of precise information. Thank you. So okay, so we have Kriya Hatha Yoga 18 Awesome Mastery 9-week online program starting Monday, February 3rd. Yes, we're gonna have 9 sessions, 9-week program, and you'll learn to incorporate your own set of practices. And it's very, very vital to maintain physical body strength. It's very vital to maintain this unobstructed energy flow that will enhance your practices and evolving in the spiritual realm of reaching the self-mastery, self-realization, so, and developing of the consciousness. And what Kriya Hatha Yoga does is that in this simulating of the body in a way that the postures are going to take place is a really nice means and a good means of reaching those hidden blockages from the physical body, emotional body, and mental body. Those ego games of the self, of the ego self. Because otherwise we do our habitual practices and activities throughout the day. And we like what we like, but Kriya Hatha Yoga brings out a lot of places that you don't want to go, because something that is uncomfortable, we go against, we go away. But Kriya Hatha Yoga enables you to go through and release also those hidden realms of the blockages and things that stand in a way of you reaching and evolving in overall life or spiritual path. So that is the whole meaning and the set of a tone that we are gonna discover. You are gonna discover yourself in this exploratory 9-week program. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope to see you 3rd of February. We're gonna start, and warm welcome to you. Om Kriya Babaji Nama Om. See you.